Hello, my loves. I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome into this video for the full moon in Aries. So for those of you who are new, hello and welcome in. It's great to have you here. If you want to learn more about how to get the most out of these readings, the kind of energies I call in, the kinds of ways that I encourage you to engage with this material and your spiritual support team that we work with to get guidance for these phases and to learn more about ourselves, you can check out my tutorial video on how to get the most out of these videos. It's like a welcome video. It covers the things that I say over and over again and gets you caught up to speed with how to get the most out of what I'm offering. It's totally not necessary, but it is an option available to you if that feels good and aligned. So to those who are not new, hello and welcome back in. Thank you guys so much for being here. I truly appreciate having you here. It is really fun to be able to offer this service as I'm learning more and diving deeper into this amazing modality of astrology, and the combination of it with the cards is just really super fun. And so I've been enjoying the guidance that's coming through and benefiting from it. And I know you guys have been commenting that you have as well. And it really means a lot to me. So just taking this moment, as I do every video, to connect with you and to let you know how much I appreciate you being here and how much of an honor it is to be able to be of service to you in this way. So let's talk about full moon energy. The cycle of a full moon is always going to give us the opportunity to celebrate. It's this pinnacle moment where all of the energy of a certain archetype is being celebrated, honored. It's at the fullest of its potential. So every time there's a full moon, it's always going to be in the opposite sign of where the sun is in. So each sign of the zodiac has an opposite. And the opposite of Libra, which is the solar season we're in, if you haven't watched my solar season Libra readings, which gives you more information about the Libra archetype and clues you in to where this energy shows up in your life, and of course gives you guidance to how to navigate this solar season, check those out. So the opposite of Libra is the energy of Aries. So the moon was new in Aries 6 months ago. And that's going to become more relevant. The 6-month period between phases, new and full, is going to be relevant next month because we have an eclipse, and eclipse energies typically last those entire 6 months, whereas the energy of the traditional moon cycles only lasts for about 28 days. So you'll see here that we're having this full moon in Aries, which is the opposite of Libra, on October 9th, and it's going to be happening at 16:55 Eastern Time. And our energies here are going to be relevant until November 8th, which is when the full moon in Taurus happens, and that will be an eclipse. So that will be really referencing the last 6 months. But the full moon energy here, let's get back to that, is a celebration. The archetype of Aries is the energy of the beginning of the zodiac. It's this spark vibration. It's what gets everything into motion, into action. And it's the energy of passion. So we are going to be diving into where emotionally in your life there is a celebration of passion, and where energetically in your life, like where specifically is that celebration happening in your life. So how does it relate to the emotions, this celebration of passion, and where does it relate to you? So the two things that you're going to be watching for in these readings, you're going to be watching for two different alignments. Don't worry if you're not on the right video right now. I'm going to tell you how to find which videos to watch, and then you can navigate to the right video when it's time, when you're done watching this introduction. It's the same for everybody, okay? So the first reading that you're going to want to tune into is the advice for where the moon was when you were born. So you are going to need your birth chart. So on your birth chart, you're going to be looking for this symbol, and you're going to be looking for the astrological sign, the zodiac sign, that this symbol is in. If you do not know how to access your birth information, how to read a birth chart. I created a tutorial video to help navigate you through that system. You can go ahead and watch that tutorial video. Ask me questions at the end if you do not understand enough to guide yourself to the right videos, and I will be happy to explain. So you're going to want to know where the moon was when you were born, and you're going to want to watch the advice that's relevant for where the moon was when you were born. The other alignment you're going to watch for is where this full moon is happening in your life. To know where this full moon is happening in your life, you're going to look for 16 degrees, 33 minutes of Aries, and you're going to find which house that occurs for you. And then you'll watch that relevant advice. Again, if you don't understand what that means, that tutorial video will cover how to find out which house this is in for you. Now, I've created a new tutorial video to show you how to use the whole house system. I love the whole house system. I think it's very easy to explain, especially for people who are very new to astrology, and it makes it a lot easier to understand. So essentially, if you already know your rising sign, if you're using the whole house system, you can find out which house Aries is in by going through the zodiac from your ascending sign all the way until you find Aries. So my ascending sign is Virgo. Okay, so that would be the first house. The next sign in the zodiac is Libra, second house. Third house would be Scorpio. Fourth would be Sagittarius. Fifth would be Capricorn. Sixth would be Aquarius. Seventh would be Pisces. Eighth would be Aries. Okay, so you have to know the order of the zodiac and you have to know your ascending sign to be able to utilize the whole house system to find out which house this is in for you. You can also utilize any other house system and just watch the advice that's relevant for the house system that you're watching. And if all of that went over your head, watch the tutorial video. It'll explain, okay? I don't want to leave you guys in the dust here, but I have been leaving little breadcrumbs and giving you videos that you can watch and access to help you navigate these understandings, these awarenesses, these readings. So we are going to be getting guidance from the Goddess Power Oracle by Collette Reid. And before we dive into the individual readings, I just want to let you guys know that there's many ways you can support me as I support you, as we support each other. You can join my chakra meditation service. It's on WhatsApp. It's only $14.40 a month. You can sign up at devotedandvulnerable.com/services, which is also where you will find my new chart reading services that I'm going to be offering. I'm very excited to roll out this service, and I'm also very nervous about it. I'm even having trouble talking about it because it's something I've been wanting to do for a while, and I finally feel ready, and I'm really excited to dive into your chart with you. If you want to learn more about the uniqueness of you, the geometry of you, beyond what I offer in these free readings. And of course, you can always comment on the videos. That helps me with the algorithms and gets me out to more people. And you can always share this with people. And there's always the option to donate if you feel inspired to do that at paypal.me/devotedvulnerable. Link is in the description. Let's get to your individual readings. So this video is for you if the moon was in Gemini when you were born, and or if this full moon in Aries at 16 degrees 33 minutes occurs in your third house. So we are going to be getting guidance from the Goddess Power Oracle, Collette Reid. So I invite you to take a few deep breaths and to call in your support team in any way that feels supportive to you, to open to receive this guidance that's aligned for your highest good. Whatever you need to hear right now, whatever you need to celebrate. And here we go. Ooh, interesting. So if you watched the moon in Aries or the first house video, double message for you because we got the same card here. Danu comes here with her message of assurance. I love this. Okay. The appearance of the Celtic earth goddess Danu, who gave birth to magic, portends the fulfillment of your desires and the fruition of your dreams. Whatever it is that you're inquiring about, Danu gives her assurance that you are in the process of becoming. Now is the time to trust that whatever you have planted, planned, and worked towards is being lovingly birthed. All you need to do is stay with the flow of events and be ready for your next opportunity. Everything has its perfect season. Just as fallow ground carries the promise of new life that appears again in the spring, as if magically bidden from the invisible to the visible, Danu offers her promise of grounded assurance. I love this. So I'm going to dive into how this relates to your emotions and your moon sign, your moon in Gemini. If you're here for the third house reading, just scroll ahead. So the moon was in Gemini when you were born. Welcome into this part of the reading. My moon was in Gemini when I was born. And so I share this alignment with you. The moon represents our emotions. So when it comes to our emotions, we have the energy of the Gemini archetype, which is the energy of the twins, the energy of something being the same yet different. What I experience with my emotions as a Gemini moon is that I have two emotions going on at the same time, and they can be similar and different. And so a lot of times I can be seen as fake emotionally because I present one face while the other face is kind of hidden behind, and it may contradict this face. That doesn't mean that this face isn't authentic and that this face is more authentic. It simply means that I'm showing one part of my emotions instead of both parts at the same time. That's what I experience, but everyone experiences all of these alignments differently. Gemini is an air sign. It's a mutable sign. So it's the energy of changing air. The mutable signs are always at the end of a season as it starts to transition to the next season. So it's not one and not the other. So Gemini is, in the northern hemisphere, the transition from spring to summer. And we experience this changing emotions, and air is an intellectual sign. So our emotions are more intellectually focused than emotionally focused. In general, this is always influenced by the different aspects of your chart and how they relate to each other. So if you wanted a chart reading with me, if you didn't feel like that resonated, I could always look at your chart and see what else is influencing it. In general, your emotions are going to be witty, clever, energetic, adaptable, and imaginative. So let's bring this back to the assurance card. Your heart is being assured that the things that you have been dreaming, the things that you have been the things that you have been calling into being, they are manifesting. You're assured that they are growing underneath the soil, even if you haven't seen the sprouts coming out of the soil. Okay. And that's what you're being invited to celebrate by this full moon in Aries. You're being invited to celebrate the sparks within your heart that you have been activating. And I would say definitely the things you've been starting since the new moon in Aries, which I believe happened in April, perhaps, like early April, maybe the 1st or the end of March. I wish I knew that off the top of my head. I can look it up. I'm going to look it up because I want to be accurate about this. So we are celebrating the things that we have called into being as we are assured that they are going to manifest. They are in the process of becoming. And we are in the process of simply celebrating. So there's a phase for everything. And it's time for us to just celebrate the heart of the passions that we've been calling into being. Celebrate our hearts for wanting to bring these things into being. New moon in Aries was April 1st. Okay. I thought that was right. So, what have you been calling in since the beginning of spring? What have you been calling in since April 1st? And celebrate that. And particularly celebrate with your heart. Celebrate with your, let your heart be seen. Let your heart be celebrated. Let the things that you've called into being be brought forward into a place within you that you can celebrate. I don't know how else to describe this. So like for me, what I'm thinking about is like, wow, these recordings that I've been doing, I started changing how I was doing them with the new moon in Aries. And I saw the difference between the new moon in Aries and the new moon in Taurus. And I was like, wow, there's a huge difference. Even there was a huge difference between the two. So I can celebrate that. Like, that's a passion that I have in my heart for using my passion spark for astrology, for the cards, to bring a service into life. And so I'm just being invited to celebrate these services and all the other things that I've been calling into being that are really coming together. Another thing with this card is I love the energy of celebrating that which is assured to come to you. So especially the emotional things that you've been calling into being since April 1st, celebrate as though they already happened. Like, celebrate not only how far you've come, but celebrate with anticipation and assurance that there is going to be this amazing blossoming, blooming, coming into expression. Like, things are going to start appearing in your physical world as validation of all of this work that you've been doing. But right now we're just going to celebrate as though it's already the end of the cycle. Like, we already have all those things that we're calling into being. It's already perfected. We're already moving on to the next thing, right? And just celebrate as though that's already the case, because putting ourselves in this celebratory state and in the imaginational space of it's already here helps to bring it closer. All right, my moons in Geminis, I'm right here with you in this journey, in this celebration of the assured sparks within our heart coming into physical manifestation. Thank you for honoring your heart, for calling new things into being for yourself, and thank you for your beautiful expression. As always, namaste. The universal light within me salutes and honors the universal light within you. Namaste. So this 16 degrees, 33 minutes of Aries occurs in your third house. First, let's talk a little bit about the third house. If you already know about the third house, you can scroll ahead to the interpretation. So the third house is the area of your life that deals with communication. It deals with how you learn. It deals with how you speak. It deals with technology, how you engage with the technical world. It deals with transportation, data, and early education. So this is where in your life you are celebrating. You're celebrating the area of communication in your life. You're celebrating the area of technology. You're celebrating the area of learning. So this is where you are being assured that you are planting seeds that are going to bear fruit. Okay? So whatever work you've been doing in your life when it comes to your communication, communicating with yourself, communicating with your source, communicating with your partners, communicating with the environment, communicating with through technology, communicating through education, right? Celebrate the assurance that anything in this area of your life that you've been working on, especially that you sparked into being on April 1st, which is when the new moon in Aries happened, you're being invited to just celebrate with the assurance that you are achieving that which you set out to achieve. Sometimes it's fun and supportive for us to celebrate something as though it's already occurred. It's actually a very powerful manifestation tool. So celebrate as though these things that you've been putting energy into, especially in the realm of communication, they're coming to being. They are assured. You are assured success in this area. So celebrate as though you're already eating the fruit from the tree that still hasn't grown from the earth yet, right? But celebrate as though it's already here, because there is so much power in the celebration, and it helps release any resistances you have to seeing this come together for yourself. Okay? Let me know if you have questions. Certainly relate this back to the card that came through for your emotions, for your moon sign. And let me know if this is resonating with you, how you are interpreting this, any questions that you have. And as always, namaste. The universal light within me salutes and honors the universal light within you. Namaste.